Hello, my name is John Dermeyer, and today we're going to be going over assessing muscular strength. For this lab, my wife is going to be my volunteer, and I'm going to have a few different videos showing a workup for a submaximal 1 rep max for the bench press and for the leg press. Okay, this first video is going to be of me, and it's an example of how to do a leg press. First, the setup is that you want to have your legs just over hips width apart. Your base is just over hips width apart. Your knees and hips should be at 90 degrees. And the execution is the concentric phase is involved in knee and hip extension, and the eccentric phase is coming back to flexion. And common faults are either having your base too close together or too far apart, letting your knees go past the tips of your toes and going too far into flexion. Another common fault is having knee valgus, or also sometimes knee varus, but knee valgus is more common. I'll show you this example of me performing. And another fault that I actually caught myself is that I'm holding my head up off of the bench there. Okay, in this next video, this is my wife, and this is her in the warm-up phase of working up to her 1 rep max. We started out at 40%, she's lifting. So this warm-up usually consists of 5 to 10 reps, and it shouldn't require a huge amount of exertion, as it is a warm-up. Our next lift, she's lifting 60% of her sub-max, 160 pounds. We just had her do that 2 times. We went up to 180 because we didn't know what she had never maxed before, so we didn't know what her max would be. And she did at 66%, she did experience a little bit of knee valgus in her left leg. And near 80%, actually did a little better on that one. Just did 1 rep of 210. 85%, 230. Now she's starting to understand the exercise a little better. So now this is going to be her sub-maximal 1 RM. She ended up being able to do 270 pounds, which is within the 80th percentile for her age and weight. And this, she did this without straining much, so I definitely believe this is a sub-maximal 1RM, even though she had never maxed before. Now we're going to move on to the bench press, and I'll show an example of how to do the bench press. The setup, you want to make sure that your grip is just over shoulder width apart, and that your core is centered underneath the bar, and you'll start with the eccentric phase, dropping the bar down to your chest, and then with the concentric phase in the actual lift. And then common faults are to not be centered on the bar, to really not have a spotter. A spotter is very important on a bench press, especially a 1-rep max. You want to have a spotter for safety. So now this is the warm-up for my wife's build up to her max of the bench press, and I'm her spotter. And this one we also had no idea what her max would be because she had never done a max bench press before. So I started with the bar, which ended up being much more than 40 to 60% of her end max. It ended up actually being 80% of her max. And so this is just assist her lifting the bar, and that's a 45-pound bar. And generally for a warm-up you do 5 to 10 reps. And that is what we did. So we added 5 pounds to each side. So we ended with 55 pounds, and that ended up being her max. Which is okay for a beginner, and it put her in the 10th percentile for her weight and age. So it shows there's the bench press, there's room that we can work on that and get her stronger. I want to go ahead and thank you so much for watching. Thank my wife for being a volunteer and participating in this video, and hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.